Hello, you're listening to KTEQ 91.3 FM, Rapid City, South Dakota's only alternative radio station. It's 10 o'clock here and 12 o'clock there. I'm talking to John Linnell, one half of They Might Be Giants, who is 2 hours into the future. Sounds like 120 minutes or something. Where is 2 hours in the future, John?
I'm in Brooklyn right now, Cody, in my modest home.
You have an apartment, right?
That's right.
Do you and John Flansburgh still live in the same apartment building?
No, that was many years ago. But we live not too far away from one another, and we still rehearse in John's living room.
That's where the dial-a-song answering machine is located, right?
That's right, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I remember reading that it was just a coincidence that you moved into the same apartment building, or was it planned?
Well, somebody wrote that somewhere. I think our record company might still be saying that, but it wasn't a coincidence at all.
Yeah, I thought that was like far-fetched.
We knew each other in high school, and we were in touch after high school, and we had mutual friends who had moved into a building in Brooklyn, a different part of Brooklyn, and there were a lot of apartments opening up, so it happened that two were available at the same time, and John and I, the coincidence was that we both were moving to Brooklyn the same fall. So we got in touch and moved down together in the same car.
So it was just, not into the same building. It was a coincidence you're just moving to the same city. They Might Be Giants is you, John Linnell, and him, John Flansburgh.
That's right, yeah.
And you've known each other since high school, you said?
That's right, yeah. Okay. I mean, actually, I think we even met before then, but I only really remember John from high school.
Oh. Before They Might Be Giants, you played in a band called the Mundanes?
That's right, yeah. In Providence, Rhode Island. I was in sort of a new wavy band, six-piece band. I was the keyboard player and saxophone player.
That didn't work out? They lived up to their name or something? Or?
Oh, no, it was a really good band, actually.
Oh, really?
We had, a couple of really talented songwriters. Actually, there were three people who were really creative musicians, and I wasn't writing any songs for that band.
Oh, you're just playing with them?
Yeah, I was just the keyboard guy. So I hadn't really gotten the chance to do my thing at that point. But it was a good outfit, and we got a lot of attention.
But you never made any records with them?
We made a single, which you could, I mean, I'm sure I think we pressed maybe, I don't know. It probably doesn't matter how many we pressed, because I'm sure you'll never find it.
Not very many. It's pretty rare. Huh?
Yeah.
Well, you just signed not just, but like a couple of years ago, you just signed a 7-record deal with Elektra Records.
Right.
And Apollo 18 is your new album.
That's right.
And it has 18 songs on it.
Yeah, although is that right? Does it have 18 songs?
Well, it's 38 tracks, but
right.
It's like 18 songs, I think.
Yeah.
You always have like 18 songs
we generally have 18 or 19 songs on the record, something in that area. That's not the reason for calling it Apollo 18, though.
Oh, okay.
It's the continuation of the Apollo rocket program. The last one was the number 17, which was in the mid-'70s, and they ended the program there. So
didn't they skip Apollo 13 or something because of superstition?
Oh, no, they didn't, although I think there was... something went wrong with Apollo 13, actually. They probably should have skipped it, because I think there was that was one where there was some, technical problem.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah.
And so your spokesperson, your musical ambassador, as it says on Apollo 18, for International Space Year?
Yeah, that's right. Well, we're basically spokespersons for International Space Year, but we still are trying to figure out exactly what International Space Year is all about.
It's kind of like a title, for people, just kind of get more interested in the space program.
Well, it's a real program, and it's sponsored by some large number of nations. I guess all the nations who have ever wished they had a space program are participating. And we found out about it when we got in touch with NASA to get photographs for the cover of our record. Went to their archive to try and find some images, and they wanted to know who we were, and they found out we were doing a tour around the world in 1992, so that their representative was interested because, they're looking for people who are, I guess, in the public eye in some way. I mean, we were, I guess, at that moment, the best they could do. I don't think it's a really well-publicized event, but it has to do with the celebration of international space exploration, as opposed to nationalistic, militaristic, or commercial
world thing,
space or exploration. So that seemed like a entirely positive thing. And
So all this space imagery that's on Apollo 18 was not because of that you were planning that already.
No, that was the original, look of the record.
Well, like Spacesuit, the song, and then
Spacesuit was written about 10 years ago, actually.
Yeah, I read somewhere that you've written over 300 songs.
Well, I don't know. I don't, I think we've probably tossed out various incredible figures, but I don't think either one of us really knows exactly. We haven't counted up all the songs we've written. We know that we've put out 5. We put out 4 albums plus a compilation. Each one has 18 or 19 songs on it. We've also got a bunch of other songs which are in the can. So we calculate roughly that we've probably got 100 songs that are recorded right now, and almost all of them have been released.
Now, how many of the songs on Apollo 18 were written brand new for the album?
Most of them.
I heard She's Actual Size on Dial Song a long time ago, it seems like.
Yeah, that was written for, that came out pretty much, I don't know how long ago John wrote it, but it must have been after Flood, because almost all the material, except for, as I said, Spacesuit and a couple other things, which describes how you're feeling.
Yeah, that was on your first, there's a cassette album that you released.
That's right, yeah.
EMG Records.
There's a version of that we did a long time ago.
Yeah, you've released all the, redone the songs based probably off of that album. You've released them all except for Become a Robot. Is that what that song's called? Yeah,
that one's never been released. Is that the only one? I sort of feel like there might be some other ones.
I was looking at it, and some of the titles vary, like Puppet Head instead of Put Your Hand Inside Puppet Head. But I thought that was the only one. Do you have any plans to release any?
No, we weren't even really, thinking that we were going to release the ones like I'm Deaf and the stuff that were B-sides on Statue Got Me High. It was, what happened was we needed some B-sides, and we were trying to come up with a good collection. We've got some stuff we recorded, but we wanted to put it out on an EP.
You might be releasing an EP then?
Well, I don't know what's happening with that now, actually.
Okay.
Our EP future is in confusion now, because I think it turns out that from Elektra's standpoint, EPs are not really they don't particularly sell very well. They don't really know what to do with them. So I don't know if we're going to end up making the EP after all.
Well, the first time I called Dial Song, I heard Ant, I think. And it's quite a different version. It'd be like a demo version. So you make demo versions and then put them onto the Dial Song? That's
right, yeah. That's really what Dial Song is you get to hear the most simple stripped down and usually the first versions of everything. And then we try and improve on them when we make a record.
Yeah.
But that's really all we've ever done with Dial Song. And most of the early history of Dial Song was just 4-track versions of songs.
I remember hearing Cabbage Town, which is on your iPalindrome I single. And I remember I was thinking it was saying Garbage Scow or something. So when it came out as Cabbage Town, I knew I heard the song, but I didn't remember hearing Cabbage Town.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things about Dial Song is that it's a nice, easy way to hear music, but you don't obviously get the whole picture right away.
Yeah.
Normally I think you can understand what the words. I mean, I feel like one can understand the words, but there's a real constriction on the arrangements of the songs. We have to keep it incredibly simple for it to come across at all on Dial Song.
Well, the telephone. I mean, I sound like I'm talking on a telephone right now. I am, but
right.
You can tell. On the Hotel Detective single, there's a woman named Gloria. Was that recorded off the Dial Song messages, or was that set up? Or
no, it's somebody we don't know personally who called up Dial Song many years ago and was on a conference line with somebody when she called. So because she was talking into a message machine, there's no way when you're conferencing with somebody to hang up on the third party. The third party has to be the one to hang up. But it was a machine that was taking a message, so it couldn't hang up on her. Recorded their whole conversation between the two of them, which went on for something like half an hour.
And that's just a little snippet.
That's just a tiny part of the whole thing.
And that's on Miscellaneous T, right? Or you put that on Miscellaneous T as track 13?
Yeah, it was. The Miscellaneous T is a collection of all the B-sides that we've ever put out, and that was on one of the B-sides.
Joshua Fried?
Fried.
He's done some remixes for you. How did you hook up with him, or what was his interest in Name of Giants?
I don't know how we originally met him, but we've known him for a long time. He's been on the New York scene. I think he was a sound man at CBGB, actually. That may have been the first time we met him, or at the Pyramid Club in New York. And he also had a performance that he did, and we had some friends who were very good friends with him, so we got to know him that way.
Does he make records, or?
Well, he's done a lot of dance music, and he's done some work with Arif Mardin, for example. Worked with Joshua, and they put some stuff out. Yeah, I guess his dance music career has never completely taken off, but he really does interesting work, and he does a performance that is renowned in New York, which has to do with it's called Nancy, and what happens is there's vocalists on stage wearing Walkman headphones, and they're listening to music that Joshua's put together, and they're trying to imitate what they're hearing, but they've never heard it before, and they're trying to do it in real time. In other words, as they hear it. And that's all the performance is, but it's really spectacular.
Do they just pull people out of the audience, or these?
No, they're people that he gets to agree to do it beforehand. But it's really great. It's one of many interesting projects that Joshua has done.
I've noticed when I listen to the lyrics of They Might Be Giants that you always return to two general topics: it's coffee and then presidents. Because there's the album Lincoln, and then there's references to like the Kennedy assassination, and Ant talks about the president, and then there's just the coffee theme I've seen running through some videos and things.
Yeah, well, it's just one of those things. You have certain ideas that you like a lot, and you use them over and over again.
Do you think that the presidents in the past are a higher standard than like modern day presidents, or do you have any opinion on that?
Gee, I don't know. It's funny, I saw Henry Kissinger on TV the other day, and that's exactly what he was saying. He was saying that all the good presidents were at the beginning.
People just don't seem to want to vote for anybody anymore. Like Ross Perot, the millionaire, and then there's Clinton, the scandal with that, and then people are just kind of sick of Bush.
Yeah, I think part of the problem is that people expect something out of the president, which maybe they're now like cluing into is like, you know, I mean, what the function of the president is, I think, is like really, it's very much in question now. I think originally the idea of the president was not so much somebody to be the like, benevolent dictator of the country. I think initially it was somebody who was presiding over the government. You know, in other words, they were just happened to be it was sort of the nominal head of the government, but. For example, didn't have the power to declare war, and in general was just not had much fewer powers than the Congress, for example.
And like the checks and balances, they need the president. They're trying to. Some baseball player said that the president didn't really have much to do, but that was kind of like misleading the American public. I can't remember which baseball player it was. But
didn't have what?
Didn't have wasn't like it was harder being a baseball player than it was being the president. I think that's an understatement. I think the president is a harder job than most people think it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never tried to play baseball.
Or be president. Or maybe
be president, right.
Okay. Now, what's your next single off Apollo 18?
Well, in America, we're about to put out the guitar. That's the one that's going to come out.
Tell me about that. It's an older song. The Lion Sleeps Tonight. It's part.
That part is. There's a studio in the neighborhood in which we live, and we this past spring went over there to sort of jam and stuff with some friends, which is unusual for us. We were never really a jamming band before, but we've kind of gotten into it recently. So we were just running through covers, and that was one of the ones we played, was The Lion Sleeps Tonight. It was just a peculiar version of the song, and John started singing different lyrics to it. Just started making up different lyrics to it.
Now, is that about Star Trek by any chance? Jim, the silver spaceship?
No.
No?
No. I think John would be very troubled to find out that you thought that about it.
Oh, don't tell him that.
Okay, I won't.
I remember reading an interview. One of you had a Star Trek commemorative mug or something with coffee.
Oh, yeah. Well, in my house, we've got one that somebody brought over, yeah.
But you're not big Star
We're
Trek
not
fans.
Trekkies at all, no.
Oh, okay. You don't wear pointy ears and...
Afraid not.
Okay. Now, you play accordion and saxophone a lot, right, on your records. How did you get interested in music and accordion?
Well, that was about 10 years ago. John and I were already... Well, I guess it was less than 10 years ago, but we'd already been playing. We did some performances as They Might Be Giants, and I was playing the clavinet on stage. That was my main instrument. I think I played like Farfisa organ also before that.
And you used to be the keyboardist with the Mundanes, so...
Yeah, so I was, that's what I did, was I, stood behind the keyboard desk. And I think I never felt completely settled in that situation. So when a friend of ours loaned me an accordion to check out, it just seemed to combine everything that I needed in the keyboard at once. It's a very dynamic instrument. It's very different from standing, playing keyboards. It's a very it's an instrument you can walk around with, which the only other example of that at the time were those synthesizers that are shaped like guitars,
Something Gary Newman would play.
Yeah, which I found to be a total drag. So this seemed like the real solution, and it's just gotten better and better for me as I've improved on it gradually.
Do you think it has a bad name? I
don't think it really does anymore. I think it, when I started out, it was considered kind of a joke. But I think
Lawrence Welk and
I think there have been enough accordionists in the real mainstream rock now that it's I think considered a legitimate instrument.
Well, unless someone uses it, say Weird Al uses it, then it's just kind of a joke. But you use it more seriously.
I don't know much about. I don't know what people think of what he does or what it means exactly. Yeah, I would just automatically assume that people know the difference between us and Weird Al.
Yeah.
But as I said, there's plenty of even just really straightforward rock performers now who have used accordions in their shows. So I think there are a lot of people who don't even give it a second thought anymore.
Do you think commercial radio is ignoring They Might Be Giants?
Well, I don't want to sound like I'm complaining because we've been extraordinarily lucky. But I think we do live in a kind of conservative. I think the country in general has been conservative, but I think right now it's not a real open-minded time for commercial radio. So, that's maybe been a problem for us. On the other hand, we've really done spectacularly well, I think, as compared to what we imagined was possible when we started out. I think we're able to make records. We're really doing exactly what we want, and we have a fairly large audience,
Yeah, I noticed you're really commercially successful, but you don't see you in commercial radio at all.
Yeah,
really.
I don't know that is that such a bad thing? I guess.
I suppose not.
Well, what would it be like for us if we were? Would that really help our situation? I don't know.
It'd probably make things a lot easier for you, not being so much in the public eye.
I think so.
And your private life would be a little more sane, I suppose.
Yeah, I think we can make the best of any situation, but and probably if we were spectacularly successful, I'd defend our position then. There'd probably be a lot of people saying we'd sold out, and I'd have to say, well, actually, this is where we belong or something like that. Which I don't know. In other words, I don't really know what the meaning of success is. Other people's point of view. For me, it really has to do with being able to do this thing that we want to do and getting people to hear it and
do it without producers and such telling you how to do it.
Yeah, that's really important. And also just feeling like we can continue to do it, like there's a future for us.
And with your record deal, you still have at least 5 more records coming out from Elektra, right?
Well, yeah, presumably. Who knows, things can change. But as far as I can tell, they're happy with what we're doing, and we're moving ahead.
Yeah, I noticed that a lot of people, I'm 18, a lot of people, just below me and up above me like you. And then there's people who are 27 years old that are interested in They Might Be Giants. How do you appeal to all these different age groups?
Well, I think bear in mind that we're actually, a lot older than most of our audience now. When we started out almost 10 years ago, we were playing to people who were roughly our age in the East Village, who were coming to see us, in these really little performance spaces. And those people, as that audience grew, I think those people were getting older and growing, up with us. So we've held on to some people that were originally there, and I think also there are people who are, who are our age who probably connect with what we're doing, even if they haven't heard of us before. But just having been around and having been in people's faces for a while, we're continuing to pick up new people, and a lot of them are a lot younger, So it's a really different scene.
It's just a matter of getting attention of people, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, most of the people who watch MTV are younger than you are,
Yeah.
As far as I know. So there's really a pretty broad range of people now who are into what we're doing. I think we also are palatable. I think the stuff we do is probably more acceptable than average than the average alternative or rock band to people who are older than us.
To my parents, you'd definitely be a lot more acceptable than someone say Nirvana.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And yeah, definitely.
I think my parents are glad that we're not the Butthole Surfers.
Gabby and crew, I guess. No, Flood was your last album, and that was really successful. You did a cover song of Istanbul, not Constantinople, and on Miscellaneous Tea you did a cover of Ladies a Tramp.
Yep.
Is that right?
That's right.
And you dig up these songs from a long time ago and redo them. Is that just kind of like a hobby? Do you do that a lot, or are those?
Well, we've done a lot of covers. I mean, we don't really tend to record them too much, but we've performed a lot of covers, and I think we feel pretty open-minded about, we're not really trying to go for a particular period of time to cover. I think there's a lot of contemporary music that's good. We used to do a cover of 1999, and we've done actually recently in Europe. We just came back from a tour of Europe, and we've been covering songs that people in the audience request, which are songs that we don't play that we've never played before.
Oh.
That was the idea of this thing. So we went through this whole list of songs that included. Well, somebody requested New York, and we did I'm a Believer by the Monkees.
Oh, the Monkees.
We did Thriller by Michael Jackson. We did Justified and Ancient. So people were just really pulling these things out of thin air. And
so you just kind of responding to what they're throwing out at
you. Yeah, we were accepting the challenge,
Except the They Might Be Giants challenge.
Right.
So you're going on tour in America now, right? Or
That's right, yeah. Not immediately, but in about a month, we're going to be touring the United States for 2 months.
Okay, what's the closest you'll be getting to South Dakota?
Probably not too far.
Colorado.
Let's see now. I actually have a list of some dates here in front of me.
Okay.
Although these are super tentative, and they get more tentative as they get farther away. Well, let's see. Yeah, we've got one show in Denver. That's now this is utterly tentative, but it says July 1st. I don't know what's close to you. We've got Salt Lake City.
Anywhere around Colorado or Minnesota, maybe. Are you even going to Minnesota?
Yep. Minneapolis would be just before Denver.
Okay.
Just a couple days before that. So probably right around. It looks as though right around then we'll be in that general vicinity. We've done tours where we've actually gone. We went across Washington, and Montana, and I can't remember if we did a show in one of the Dakotas. I think we did, though.
North and South.
Right.
I don't know. I hadn't heard anything. If you would have been here, someone would have told me.
I know that we were stuck in the snow outside of Fargo at one point.
Fargo, North Dakota, yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully you'll be getting close to us, and we can. Well, we have to put up with that. We don't get concerts here unless it's.
Yeah, I apologize for that. If there were just more of you out there, we could afford to spend more time there.
Well, we got Metallica last night. Ooh.
Oh, yeah? Where did they play?
They played. We have a civic center, Rapid City Civic Center.
Wow.
And they played here, and that's usually we have this problem here where we don't sell enough tickets for people to play, and they back out saying, "Oh, technical difficulties."
Ah, right.
And it's just, it's kind of a problem.
Yeah.
But we kind of understand the standpoint of you not being able to come here. But, doesn't stop us from complaining, just we can't get any decent bands there. But there is somewhat of an alternative scene here, but there's a lot of local bands.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually bigger than probably the rock scene here.
Right.
Because there's a lot of young people around here. In the, April 10th CMT Music Report, it calls Apollo 18 the Shuffle Play Album of the Year. And that's probably because of Fingertips, right?
Right.
And you said that was recorded at the end of the recording session.
That's right.
That was you just did that spontaneously?
Well, no. I mean, actually, I've been working on that project for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I started doing things that were leading up to that when we were recording Lincoln. I started working on this thing, which was this sort of segmented. It had lyrics that were more tied together, but it was the same idea. A lot of little choruses stuck together. And that just gradually sort of changed and took shape and turned into Fingertips by the time of... Actually, the Fingertips was pretty much completely written by the time we recorded Flood, but we just didn't budget the time we were going to need to record it then. So...
you have a lot of guest singers on that song.
Yeah.
Do they appear anywhere else in any of the records, or are they just...
let me see. I guess not. No, they're all friends of ours who we've known for a while.
Mm-hmm. How about Lieutenant Ann Moore? She sang on For Science on the Hotel Detectives.
Yeah, she's somebody that John knows. I don't really know her, but she's somebody who came in.
And Eugene Chadbourne phoned in some guitar noise for you on your first album.
Yeah, Eugene we met when we were performing in New York. We did a show. We were on the same bill with him, and we became, just obviously liked each other. And he wanted to, a lot of these people that we meet want to jam or collaborate in some way, and it's difficult for us to come up with some way of working together. We met Peter Stampfel 2 years ago, and he wanted to come. He asked us to come over and write songs with him, and we just never ended up doing that. But he seemed exactly perfect to sing the title segment on Fingertips, so that's what we ended up doing with him. And I hope we'll get to hang out with him more in the future, if not actually work with him.
And you have banjo and stuff on there.
Yeah, he plays that banjo. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've noticed one of the really popular songs, like the ones that my friends like. I like when this album first came out. I was playing it for them. Turn Around they seem to really like for some reason. Any chance of that being a single, possibly?
Single? I don't know. There's only one person in the whole Warner organization who thinks that it should be a single. And she runs the press office over in England. I don't think she has enough clout to actually make that happen.
A petition. Well, it looks like I'm about out of tape, so maybe we better wind this up. I'd like to thank you for calling KTEQ. And
yeah, my pleasure.